Sexless marriages are far more common than most people realize. In fact, somewhere between 15 and 20% of long-term couples report little or no sexual activity. But what's behind this silent epidemic? Hello, I am Dr. K. Paul Stoller, and in this video we will explore the deeper psychological, relational, and even evolutionary forces that drive couples into sexless marriages, and why the issue is so rarely discussed honestly. Sexless marriages almost always begin with female sexual withdrawal, but the reasons are diverse. And yes, there are always exceptions, but they are not the norm. At one end, some women simply never had a strong desire for sex to begin with. Marriage, companionship, or the desire for children, not erotic connection, were their primary motivations. Once children arrive, their limited sexual energy disappears entirely. At the opposite end, some women use sex, or the withholding of sex, as a mechanism of power and control, not consciously malicious, but rooted in deeper psychological dynamics. A need to feel superior, an urge to avoid vulnerability, or even a dysfunctional sense of satisfaction from emotionally diminishing their partner. And in the middle, women carrying trauma, shame, or a fear-based understanding of sexuality. For them, intimacy may feel unsafe, undeserved, or even associated with past harm. In all of these cases, the result is the same. Sexual withdrawal becomes the default state of the marriage. Here's something many people don't appreciate. For a lot of men, sex isn't just physical. It's how they bond emotionally. It's how they express affection, experience closeness, feel validated, and build trust. When sex disappears, many men interpret it not as rejection of a sexual act, but as rejection of themselves. So when sexual intimacy vanishes, the man often loses the primary way he experiences connection in the relationship. This creates a widening emotional gap that few couples know how to bridge. Sexual withdrawal almost always comes with excuses. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm not feeling well. I just ate. Now, these may be true occasionally, but when they happen constantly, they become something else. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of dishonesty, and once lying becomes part of the sexual dynamic, it erodes the foundation of the relationship. Before long, the marriage is no longer just sexless, it's emotionally contaminated by avoidance, resentment, and unspoken truth. Many sexless marriages begin long before the first sexual refusal. They start with unclear expectations. Couples get married without ever discussing what intimacy means, how often sex is expected, what emotional needs each partner has, or how they will maintain connection over years or decades. Historically, extended families and elder women guided younger couples through these challenges. Today, most couples are completely on their own, improvising one of the hardest relationships humans enter into. There's also a deeper evolutionary truth. For most of human history, people didn't live long enough for sexless marriages to exist. Lifespans were short, relationships were fluid, and long-term erotic stability wasn't expected. The modern idea of a decades-long monogamous love marriage is historically new and arguably unnatural for many people. This doesn't mean marriage is doomed, but it does mean many couples enter it with expectations that contradict human psychology and biology. Sexless marriages aren't caused by one thing. They arise from mismatched desires, trauma, power dynamics, dishonesty, unmet emotional needs, lack of mentorship, and evolutionary mismatch. But here's the hopeful part. Because these patterns are understandable, they can also be addressed. A successful marriage isn't automatic. It's a discipline. It requires communication, honesty, desire, and a clear understanding of what intimacy means for both partners. When couples understand the forces working against them, they finally have the tools to work together. Sexless marriages don't happen by accident. They happen by pattern, and patterns can change.